like to ask Sharon Peters to come up and lead us into our first table discussion.
As the white paper was coming to fruition and taking shape, there were a lot of discussions about what were the opportunities for next steps, what are the obvious actions that come forward. And a lot of the challenges and lessons learned that the utilities shared in their input to the white paper were really around two fundamental concepts. And the first one was this question of preparedness. How much had utilities thought about what they were trying to accomplish before they started working on projects, technology-oriented projects. And the second one was really around connectivity and alignment within the organization. So how much had they shared their plans with other internal and sometimes external stakeholders that were critical to them being successful? And so what naturally flowed from these themes was that utilities could help better prepare and avoid some of the common risks by asking themselves some key questions as early as possible. And that's really where we're seeking your advice and input in the workshop today. So there's a handout on your tables along with some dots. And the handout includes a series of questions. They're relatively general questions. They're organized into the topic areas that were sort of the first few that were on that list that we were looking at earlier. And it's not meant to be super detailed. It's not meant to be looking at the ins and outs of a particular work process or looking at the ins and outs of a particular type of technology deployment, but kind of some of those general principles that apply across a wide range of projects. So what we're asking you to do is to read through that list and try to pick out your top 10. What are the top 10 questions that you think utilities should be considering with respect to the question of preparedness? And if you can kind of number them in your mind, sort of from 1 to 10. And then we're asking you to record that information on your handout so you don't lose track of it. And then take those dots and get up and go over to the side here. Those same questions and concepts are on those two flip charts that are posted back there. And add your dots to the questions that you think are most important. Once you've had a chance to do that, come back to your tables and have a conversation, and the table facilitator will go around and ask, what was your top question and why was that so important to you? What's the next one? And we'll continue the discussion as long as we can for time to permit, and really kind of get into that question of what do you think are the biggest priorities for utilities to consider around preparedness. So just to start off, think about your own situation, take a few minutes to read through that handout, and then you can get up out of your chairs and vote. I'll give everybody a bit of a heads up when we've got about 5 minutes left, and we'll see where we get to. Thanks very much.